The story opens in South Africa with a young girl named Puleng sitting in her bedroom looking around. She then heads downstairs, where there's a birthday party going on. It turns out that the birthday is for Puleng's elder sister, Phume, who was abducted on the day she was born 17 years ago. This is embarrassing and strange for Puleng, and it makes her feel less than her missing sister. The Khumalo family, especially the parents, are still unable to move on from the horrific past. Therefore, they celebrate her birthday every year. The mother then delivers a speech in which she states that 17 years is a long time to be separated from her newborn, and that she hopes to see her one day. After this, Puleng reluctantly blows out the candle. Afterward, Puleng hangs out with her younger brother, Sia, and wonders why Sia doesn't get what he wants for his birthday, but their sister Phume, who isn't even here, gets a 3-tiered cake. Moments after, she notices her father leaving and questions her mother about where he's going. Her mother doesn't give her a clear answer, so Puleng becomes enraged and storms off to her room. She then receives a message from her best friend Zama inviting her to a party. Puleng, who is furious with her family, decides to leave and head to a party with Zama. Sometime later, Puleng and Zama arrive at a VIP party, to which Zama has been invited by a man named Chris. There, Zama abandons Puleng and goes to have fun with Chris. Puleng is feeling very out of place, and a girl named Fikile helps her in getting a drink at the bar. She then continues her search for Zama, but when she finds Chris and her having an intimate moment, she retreats to an empty room in the house. Moments after, she notices Fikile making out with a man, so she runs away from there as well. While Puleng is sitting on a sofa, she finds a phone ringing and answers it. The phone belongs to a guy named Wade, and his mother is trying to reach him. So Puleng questions many people about Wade before finding him and handing him the phone. Following his conversation with his mother, Wade and Puleng introduce themselves, and he offers her a drink. Wade is an avid photographer, and he shows Puleng an image of Fikile, saying she looks like Puleng. Furthermore, the party turns out to be Fikile's birthday celebration. Puleng's mind then begins to wander as she realizes that Fikile shares the same birthday as her missing sister. When Puleng gets home, her mother scolds her for leaving the house full of guests. Puleng informs her mother that she is taking part in this day to make her mother happy, even though she's never met Phume. She then wishes that her mother loves her and Sia as much as she loves Phume. Hearing this, her mother becomes sad and tells her that it isn't fair because she loves all of her children equally. The following day, at school, Puleng is having difficulty focusing on the hockey game, and as a result, her team loses. Later in the locker room, one of her teammates, Nate, arrives and scolds her for causing them to lose. Due to this, the two argue, and Nate accuses Puleng's father of selling her sister into slavery. Hearing this, Puleng loses her cool and viciously attacks Nate until the other girls intervene. After that, Zama shows Puleng an article accusing her father of being engaged in her sister's abduction as part of a child laundering operation. Later, Puleng's actions cause the principal to arrange for her parents to pick her up. The principal also tells them that Puleng's grades are slipping and her behavior is unacceptable, so a disciplinary hearing has been scheduled. At home, Puleng questions her father about the article accusing him. However, he claims that the news is fabricating stories to boost ratings and that they are linking Phume to another missing child case. Seeing Puleng stressed, he reassures her that she has nothing to worry about and that everything will be all right. That evening, Puleng gets a text from Wade, but when browsing through his pictures, she comes across photos of Fikile and wonders whether she is her lost sister. The next morning, Puleng pays a visit to Wade at Parkhurst High School and notices Fikile at the gala. Fikile wins the swim, and Puleng offers help to Wade with his photography. Caught up with their investigation, she loses track of time and immediately rushes to her school. Since Puleng is late for her own disciplinary meeting, her father gets angry, so he decides to ground her and confiscates her phone. As they walk outside, the police arrest Puleng's father for human trafficking. Puleng is devastated and begins rushing after him while other students video them. Later at the police station, her father asks Puleng to trust him because he has done nothing wrong. However, for the time being, he recommends the family keep their distance from him for their own good. When the family returns home, Puleng and her mother discuss how to move on from this horrible experience. Puleng informs her mother that she does not want to return to her school after what happened. She decides to investigate her leads and informs her mother that she wants to attend Parkhurst High, which is Fikile's school. The next day, Puleng meets for an interview with the principal of Parkhurst High School, who also happens to be Wade's mother. The principal seeks guarantees from Puleng that her family troubles will not interfere with her time at school, and Puleng pledges to her that she will not blow this opportunity. Puleng then decides to use her mother's surname, Vezi, to give herself a fresh start because of her father's reputation in the media. After getting enrolled, Puleng is introduced to Wendy, who gives her a tour of the school. They go to the pool, where Puleng watches Fikile swim again. Puleng also meets Tahira, a prospective head girl and Wendy's best friend. It is revealed that Wendy is also the leader of the school's magazine society, and she despises Fikile and other wealthy students. Puleng says that she also wants to join the magazine society after hearing that they intend to interview Fikile, who is also a candidate for head girl. Later, Puleng follows Fikile to the swimming pool, trying to get closer to her, but is suddenly stopped by the swimming coach named Chad. Later that afternoon, Puleng goes to the magazine society meeting. Since Wendy hates Fikile, Wade advises that she be interviewed by someone else. Puleng offers to interview Fikile, but Wendy requests to see writing samples first, to which Puleng complies. Later at home, everyone is worried about Puleng's father's confinement. Sia speaks with his father when he phones them to check on them, but the mother hangs up, not wanting any of them to speak to their father until it is over. Puleng then asks her mother for money, claiming it's for a school project. However, her mother informs her that she's already struggling to pay Puleng's new school fees. So while her mother is showering, Puleng steals her credit card and purchases a DNA kit. The next day, Puleng interviews Fikile about her ambition to be the head girl and gathers as much information as possible from her. She then inquires about her birthplace and childhood experiences. The interview becomes weird at times, but Puleng manages to get through it. Puleng talks about her horrible incident as a child, when her brother nearly drowned, and how she has despised water ever since. Hearing this, Fikile reveals she nearly drowned when she was 4, but she gradually overcame her fear and now enjoys being in the water. After the interview, Wade compliments Puleng on her questioning techniques. However, Puleng admits she lied about her brother nearly dying to persuade Fikile to talk. During lunch, Puleng hangs out with Fikile and meets her friends Chris, Reese, and KB. When Fikile reads her speech of the head girl, her friends laugh at her. However, Puleng believes that the speech is nice but that it should be more personal. Fikile then invites Puleng to join her at a party later that evening. As they leave, Puleng tries to grab her drink for the DNA kit, but Fikile discovers she still has juice and takes it. That evening, Wade invites Puleng to hang out, but she declines, claiming that she has to work all night on the article. She then goes to the party and begins smoking a joint with Fikile's friends. Fikile hands Puleng a swimming costume and tells her to loosen up and relax. KB wonders why Puleng has never tried weed and why she doesn't open up about herself. When she asks KB about his past, he discloses that he is Fikile's childhood friend. They even dated for a bit, but it didn't work out, and they're now good friends. They talk some more, and Puleng reads a poem to KB, who adapts it into a rap. Puleng compliments his rap, and they begin to open up to each other. Puleng is then introduced to KB's father in the kitchen, who appears to be fine with the party, and she succeeds in impressing him. After that, KB tries to kiss her, but she immediately leaves to use the restroom. There, Fikile asks Puleng for a tampon, which she gives her. After that, Puleng tries to get Fikile's used tampon for DNA testing. But suddenly, Reese arrives, so she panics and flushes it. The next day at school, Puleng apologizes to Wade for not responding to his text because she was busy with the article. However, he is upset as he knows she was at a party after seeing the photo on Instagram. Later, Wendy and Tahira see Puleng has become a part of Fikile's social circle. Wendy becomes angry when she sees this, so she sabotages Puleng by modifying her article to why Fikile should not be the head girl. Later, it's revealed that Fikile and Coach Chad are hooking up together in private. Meanwhile, Fikile's mother hears that the police have reopened her missing daughter's case. Puleng then sneaks into the school's record room and sifts through the birth certificates. Soon after, she finds Fikile's birth certificate, but Wade interrupts her and asks what she's doing. But just then, the principal notices them both in the admin room and is shocked. So Wade makes up a story about Puleng being lost while looking for the photocopying room. Later, Puleng heads home for the evening, just as KB sends her a song he's been working on. While the two continue to talk, Fikile follows her on social media, and Puleng follows her as well. However, the next morning, Puleng and Fikile's friendship is short-lived when Wendy publishes the modified article in which she's written bad stuff about Fikile. Fikile and her friends are upset with Puleng because of the article, but she insists she did not write it and promises to fix it. The article has spread like wildfire around the school, casting Fikile in a negative light and portraying her as affluent and undeserving of the position of head girl. Later in the class, Puleng confronts Wade about it, but he asks her why she was looking for Fikile's birth certificate. Puleng then purposely blunders a science experiment to get Wade into a room to discuss. Puleng then tries to cover up by claiming she was curious about Fikile's birth certificate, but Wade doesn't believe her and claims that Fikile's parents are powerful people who could jeopardize his mother's position. He threatens to report her, so Puleng finally tells him why she took Fikile's birth certificate. She claims that she suspects Fikile is her sister, and all she needs is a DNA sample to confirm this. Hearing this, Wade walks away and places the certificate back where it belongs, but not before taking a photo of it just in case. Later, Puleng confronts Wendy, who admits to changing the article to sabotage Fikile. When Puleng questions why she put her name, Wendy justifies it by claiming that people need to hear a fresh voice. Puleng requests that Wendy print a retraction and amend her mistakes, but Wendy flatly refuses. As she walks away, Puleng attempts to hack into her computer, but fails to do so. Just then, KB appears and leads Puleng to a room filled with books where they discuss poems. He then raps, which impresses her. KB tries a ploy to kiss her again, but she mocks him for his awful approach. The two then make fun of the fact that they are on a date. Determined to make things right, Puleng approaches Tahira for help in undoing the damage and promoting Fikile to the position of head girl. Later, Fikile delivers a speech in the assembly, but she feels impacted by the article and rumors about her. Tahira then gives a speech about her troubles, stating the fact that she didn't have much money when she first started at Packhurst. Her point of view is sensible and everyone cheers for her. Puleng then stands up and asks Fikile a swimming question, but Wendy interrupts with an embarrassing question about politics. Afterward, Tahira, feeling bad, informs Wendy that they need to print a retraction because this is not an ideal way to win. Before the assembly's winner can be declared, Puleng is summoned to the principal's office. Puleng's parents are waiting for her in the office, including her father, who seems to have been released from prison as well. Her parents then inform her that they found a girl they believe to be Phume, so they request that Puleng come to the hospital with them for the DNA test. That evening, Zuma meets with Chris and confirms Puleng is using a different surname, which is a secret at her new school. The next day, Wendy feels influenced by Tahira's statements and agrees to give Puleng the original recording of the interview with Fikile for the truth to be revealed. But later in class, Fikile and Wendy engage in a heated dispute. Due to this, Wendy decides not to help Fikile and deletes the recording. Later, Puleng asks Wendy where the recording is, but she reveals that she deleted it and the two end up arguing. Later at home, Puleng speaks with her parents and discovers that they have taken out a loan to pay for her schooling. Although her father has been released from jail, he remains uptight about why he was arrested and refuses to disclose any information to his family. The next day, Tahira finally becomes the head girl, much to Fikile's displeasure. Later that evening, Fikile becomes very drunk because she feels worried about not receiving a scholarship. Chris tells her that she doesn't need it because she's wealthy, but Fikile says she's tired of her parents' support and the perception that she is financially backed for everything. Chris informs her that Puleng has been lying the entire time and that she is sketchy. He also reveals that Puleng's surname is Khumalo, and that her father is suspected of child trafficking. Fikile, on the other hand, says she no longer wants anything to do with Puleng. Meanwhile, Puleng notices her mother's distress and finds out the DNA was not a match. She feels terrible and goes to her room, where Wade arrives to show her something. He then informs her that he's discovered a name on Fikile's birth certificate that could be useful, which is B. Jaxa. This could be the lead they need to move forward, and the episode comes to an end.